This week on the podcast, have you been on the edge of your seat since last week's episode? Well, this is part 2. We're continuing the saga of our Disney trip report. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started.
You want me to keep talking?
Oh, I want you to do it without saying, do you want me to say, hey, pal?
Okay, ready? Are you okay? Hey, pal.
Hey, pal, how you doing?
We're back.
Oh, Carrie. Yes, another week, another
this trip
episode.
Report rolling.
Carrie, honestly, I don't know if we're going to have any listeners this week. Because if they listened to our trip report last week, they might be like, yeah, I kind of heard enough.
Probably.
You did a lot of stuff at Riverside, you ate a lot, and you haven't gone on a single attraction. But that was only our first 2 days. Mm-hmm. This week, we're actually starting in a good spot.
Yes.
And we're gonna dispense with the pleasantries this week. We're gonna dive right in.
Let's do it.
Okay. Because the first day of this trip report is like the big day. It was the big day.
Big day. I still don't think we did too much on the big day.
We didn't, but it was a big celebratory day.
It was my birthday.
Yes, it was. Woohoo! Carrie's birthday. This was your first birthday celebrating in Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. You'd never celebrated a birthday there before.
Never, ever, ever.
Was it everything you'd hoped?
It was. It was everything. I think we should tell a little bit of the story about how, like, the weather. So that day, my birthday.
Yeah.
Let's not build it up too much. We did a whole lot of moseying around still because it was my day. We could do whatever the heck that we wanted.
We did whatever Carrie wanted.
But the day we arrived was a beautiful day.
Yes.
Then the first day, our Hollywood Studios / Magic Kingdom washroom day was the most beautiful day.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Weather-wise.
Yeah.
Like, we were walking around, spinning and twirling and proclaiming about how the weather was the best and that, oh my goodness, why don't we travel at this time of the year? The breeze, the temperature is total perfection. We've been fools all along traveling in October and in every other month we've ever been here. Why on earth are we not traveling every year at this time of the year? It's the most wonderful time. And then the very next day on my birthday, I think I almost got heat stroke. It was like we deserved it. It was like someone was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Smarty pants.
The universe was saying, are you sure?
Yeah, I think it was like 100 on my birthday, but the days before was absolute perfection. Like if you could keep the temperature like that in that Disney bubble.
It was,
the best.
It was bad. It was really hot.
But the days before, perfect. Oh my God, that breeze.
Yeah.
That breeze.
Yep.
Anyways.
So it was your birthday. Mm-hmm. It was Carrie's day. What did we do?
We went to Epcot, baby.
Yep. Carrie's favorite park.
Yes.
On a Saturday.
Well, I can't help it that my birthday's on a Saturday.
Epcot
and you should just be
Saturday.
Lucky. You should just be lucky that I've probably got it tracked for like 10 years. Neil Patrick Harris did the candlelight processional always at the start of December on my birthday. Yes. And then he just changed it to being closer to Christmas. So you're lucky you got off the hook. You had no candlelight processional reservation on my birthday because I just didn't want to go see Whoopi. Anyways, so Epcot was packed.
It was packed. It was Saturday at Epcot. It was packed, of course.
Yeah, so we wandered.
And we wrote that down. We did our first attraction that day.
We did.
We went and saw Canada.
Yep, we did.
It was good.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. So we did that.
Yeah, and then we moseyed about and we went to Caramel Couche and we got some caramels. We went to Japan Pavilion because that's my favorite and bought something to drink. And what else did we do?
So talk about where we ate breakfast.
We had breakfast at Connections Cafe. We went and got that waffle, this truthfully fancy waffle. So we had
the fantastic waffle with the whipped cream and strawberries and chocolate.
Breakfast. Yep.
That's what we had for breakfast.
Yep.
And then where did we eat dinner that day?
Connections Cafe.
So we had breakfast at Connection. So Epcot, the place where there's food everywhere, we ate breakfast and dinner at Connections Cafe.
Yeah, well, we got in and we were hungry probably, I would expect, right? Like, so that was why we did really the waffle, right? We needed to have some fuel for the day.
Just to get us started.
But like those lineups for anything at Epcot, like all the booths were crazy early in the day. Like it wasn't even later. They were just crazy.
And with it being so hot, so it would have even been different. I wouldn't have minded standing in some of those lines if it wasn't 1,000 degrees out either. But with because even when we went to Caramel Couche, we mobile ordered it.
Yeah, there was a lineup out the door.
I've never seen that back door open, and they had people lined up outside. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we mobile ordered that.
It was. So, yeah, that's why we ended up at Connections. Again, it was dinner time. We were hungry. It's air conditioned. There's a lot of seating in there.
Yeah, and the food is good. And you get real cutlery. The things that make us happy. Carrie's birthday, we had real cutlery.
Yeah, like I think if it wasn't so busy and wasn't so hot, we would have probably, like ideally, I would have liked to have went to some of the food booths and stayed longer or done some attractions. But yeah, we're not waiting, all day for Spaceship Earth.
So we did a lot of walking that day because we did the whole, we walked all the way around Epcot. We went all the way to the front again, back to Connections for dinner. And then we walked out the back to go and look at the resorts. Like my feet were feeling like they were going to fall off that night by the time. So we went out the back and went to the beach club, the yacht club, and the boardwalk to go and see their Christmas decorations. They're
so nice. The trees are amazing.
Oh my goodness. It was so fun. And just to see their gingerbread displays and the carousel and the chocolate and
smelled really good.
So we went in each one of those. So when we say we wander, we really wander. Like we wandered the resort, we took pictures, we sat down, we people watched, then we got up, then we went to the next resort. So how was your birthday, Carrie?
It was fantastic. I think we did a really good job this trip. Like as much as we wandered, and that's how we summarize it. Like we did a lot of exploring at various resorts, and we do peek about and look at all kinds of things and ponder things and take pictures of things. Like we do see a lot. We cover a lot of ground. We just aren't waiting in line to go on attractions unless there's no line or unless we have Genie Plus. So, but we do fill our day, we don't just go somewhere and sit and place ourselves in one spot all day. We are moseying and peeking at things and contemplating things a lot. We do that. Absolutely. We talk about a lot of stuff.
It was a good day.
It was a very good day. Minus the heat.
But we had to get back to the hotel and get well rested. Because even though your birthday was the Saturday, we had a very big day Sunday morning.
A very big day.
It was a very big day with a very big event.
It's just... It wasn't that big an event.
Oh, come on. Rolf came. Rolf came to this event. This was a pretty big event.
So we went to the D23 30th anniversary showing of Muppets Christmas Carol at the Disney Springs Movie Theater, the AMC. So, and because I, had a checked bag, because, I always get the peer pressure of, Bringing a checked bag.
Checking a bag.
I had so much checked space. Like my clothes were having a dance, but there was a rave going on in my bag because there was like so much space. Like they were dancing and shaking their booties and everything. Like they were having a good time. My clothes, there was so much space in there that I decided to pack a stuffed animal. Like, well, kids do that, right? Like,
why
so
not?
why not?
Why not?
So I put my stuffed Rolf, because he's my favorite. I put him he has a little tie on, a Christmas tie, and I packed him in my bag and I brought him so that I could bring him to the movies with us.
And I was like,
I was hoping they weren't going to ask for a ticket for him because we didn't have one.
I was like, Carrie, seriously? However, when we got there, we were walking through the parking lot because we lifted because we thought that was smart, but it turns out it wasn't because Disney Springs wasn't open that early. So they made us walk all the way around through the parking lot to get in. While we were walking through the parking lot, Carrie's carrying Rolf. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Carrie, like, and I look over and there's a Kermit waving at Rolf. So someone else had brought their Kermit to this event as well. So anyway.
So we got there early, and it's a good thing we did and we were there like right at the time or a little bit before when they told us. And when we got there was already people lined up. So we were kind of probably, the line got really big. There was a lot of people there. So we were probably pretty far up to the start of the line, really, like considering all the people that came after us.
Yeah.
But it was in a huge theater, like a 3-level theater. Like there was like an upper balcony that you could go. It was pretty cool. We had to get there early. We got they gave us drinks. They didn't get us popcorn.
They gave us
so
drinks.
I bought some popcorn.
You bought popcorn?
And they gave us some drinks. And we got settled. And it's a good thing we did. Because I think people that came later wouldn't have been able to sit together or...
Yeah, there were people that weren't able to sit like their whole party together. But they gave us a songbook. Yeah, so they gave us a songbook.
They gave us, I think, and they also, beforehand, they did a contest, though, people with ugly Christmas sweaters. And if I would have known they were giving away, like, Muppet prints, I probably would have, like, somehow attached Rolf to an ugly Christmas sweater or something. They were giving out prizes for, which were prints, which was cool. So, they did a little competition, like, whatever. I guess it's a competition, ugly Christmas sweater competition. And then they gave us a songbook to sing, and they gave us a Gideon's cookie to munch on as well.
So we both had this thing. We were not standing in line for a Gideon's cookie. Like, people stand in that line for 30, 40 minutes to get a cookie. And I mean, I wouldn't wait that long for a cupcake, so there's no way I'm waiting that long for a cookie.
We both had never had one before.
So we're sitting in the theater waiting for the movie to start. And we decided to open one of the Gideon's cookies. Mm-hmm. We didn't know what flavor. We didn't know nothing about it. But we were both kind of hungry because we didn't have breakfast that morning. That cookie. Oh, my gosh. And I even said to you, I think there's coffee in this. And I don't like coffee. But I love this cookie.
It was delicious. I think it was the Kris Kringle. This is the funny part of the story is that we're in this theater. And we've cracked open this cookie. We're eating this cookie, and we don't even know what's in it. We don't know the flavors. We don't know anything about it. But we think it's the most delicious cookie we've ever eaten.
It was so good. It was incredibly good.
So we Googled it I think we Googled it later, and because we looked at the menu, and it was their Christmas. I think it's their Kris Kringle cookie, and it did have coffee bean. Essence or flakes or something in it.
I ate it anyway because it was so good.
It was delicious.
Yeah, the movie was great.
The movie was good.
As expected.
It was funny. Like they kind of joked that they gave us songbooks, but like the movie theater is definitely too dark for anybody to like sing along. So it couldn't have been. So they're like, so you have your songbook for when you watch it at home. You can sing along.
It was pretty cool. And there were a lot of people there. So
there was
Muppets
lots
represent.
Of people. Yeah. And there was lots of people with like Muppet clothes, Muppet backpacks, people, Muppet Christmas sweaters.
Everybody was all decked out.
Yeah, it was good.
If anything, I was the anomaly.
and then at the end, they gave us an ornament, which was neat.
Yes.
So it was a good experience. And I was really excited that we that we got to go because things never seemed to line up. So like the fact that it was right on our trip and we actually didn't find out about it, a week later when it was all sold out or whatever, that we actually managed to find out about it, book a ticket and get to go was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was pretty cool. And then after the movie, we decided that Disney Springs was way too packed.
Oh, yeah. And like, again, this is like probably barely lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And because I was going to go over to Sosa's to get, and I always get my nephew Andrew cigars. And since we've been home, actually, they've announced that Sosa is closing. That. Yeah.
I thought, oh.
Yeah, that's a shame. So now it kind of explains why the guy was a little crusty when I finally did get to go back in there in December and get cigars. So I'm glad I bought as many as I did. So we decided Disney Springs was just too packed. So we went to the outlet mall because that made more sense.
Because the outlet mall wasn't going to be busy. Holy crap.
But we wanted to go and see because sometimes you can get some really good stuff at the Disney Character Warehouse.
Sometimes.
The outlet store. Sometimes. So we went to the outlet mall and we had lunch at the Shake Shack.
That was good.
It was good. So that was in the food court in the outlet mall. It was good. And there was a lineup to get in the Disney store.
Yeah. And, we're not going to wait for Spaceship Earth. We're not going to wait for the... for the Disney outlet, but we did. Well, we didn't. We did. We saw the line first, and then we went to go get lunch, and then we went back, and it moved fairly quickly. So we went in.
Yeah, we decided once we got in it, if it didn't move, like in 5 minutes, we were leaving.
Like no joke, if we would have been in a car, like if we drove, we probably wouldn't have went in. But because we paid for an Uber both.
We paid for our Lyft both ways. We were like, forget it. We paid money to get here.
So then we decided to hang tight and go in. And it was all right. Like, It
was okay. I bought a mug for Becky for Christmas.
What did I buy?
You bought new emo outfits.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, like
I bought like the desk plate. So those little desk plates that you have, and it said "Don't just fly, soar." I always look at them in Walt Disney World, and they're like $20, and I refuse to spend that. But it was like $3.99 or something at the outlet, so I bought it.
Yeah, it seemed to be like like I know some people that have been there in the last little while, and I saw what they bought or they posted pictures, and it looked pretty much the same. Yeah. They seem to have they always have Dooney and Burke's there. Obviously, the ones that aren't selling. They had Winnie the Pooh and the Donald ones and a few other ones, but they seemed lately to have like a Loungefly wall too. If anybody likes Loungefly, like it's the Loungefly of the week. So, like the when I was there. Last time it was a Cheshire Cat Loungefly, and I didn't want to still pay like whatever they asked for it. Was it Cheshire Cat or was it? No, it was Miss Piggy. It wasn't a Cheshire Cat one. It was a Miss Piggy one. That's what it was, and it was still very expensive. And I'm like, oh, I have that threshold for how much I'm willing to pay for something that's not gonna ever be used.
Yeah.
Anyways. But like they had, but then but the week before there was something else, and then the week we were there, the day we were there was something else. So if you, and there was like, over before Christmas, they had them, some of them, sometimes they're $25 or $29, like the $75 or $80 Loungefly. So if Loungeflies are your thing, you might want to check stuff. The YouTubers that are posting the videos to see what's there, and it might be worth a visit for that. But often like the shirts are all very, very small shirts or very, very big shirts.
They're like small and extra small.
Nothing kind of in between. But you never know. Like if you're there when something new is out, then you legit can hit the jackpot sometimes.
For sure.
So. But anyways, it wasn't that for us, but we still gave us something to do.
It did. So we left there, went back to the resort, and then because there were buttons to collect, we went to Animal Kingdom for the sole purpose of taking these selfies to get our buttons. We didn't go on anything. We just went to go get our buttons. But,
oh, we saw the Tree of Life thing. We did not have the
intention of seeing the Tree of Life. It just so happened by the time we got all our selfies, the sun was setting.
I don't know.
And we happened to be at the front right next to the tree, and you were like, do you want to just wait the 5 minutes until this starts?
Yeah, but the plan before the Muppet thing was really like, we booked it like a week before we went, or 2 weeks. Like, it was a very last minute thing, but that was already an Animal Kingdom planned day. So
it was. The
Muppets kind of took over the day. We really, by the time we got there, we did the buttons. And the one thing that I thought, it was neat to see some of the Christmas stuff, but we were just lounging around, chilling out, looking at all the shops and hanging out by the Tree of Life. And that's not a bad place to just chill out.
And watch weather permitting.
We were, found a place to sit. We were watching people. People are just kind of hanging out and chilling out. And I've never really done that there before. Like,
shocking. Of all our places to people watch, we've never done it there.
Yeah, and it was kind of a neat atmosphere, like at dusk. Maybe it's different at certain times of the year, but, people waiting for the show on the tree. And it wasn't too bad of a place to be hanging out.
Yeah. It was busy, though. It was crowded by the time the show started. But after that, we decided we were going to take the bus to go and eat because we hadn't eaten dinner yet. Yeah. So we decided we're at Animal Kingdom. Why not go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and eat and check out their Christmas displays? Mm-hmm. So we decided to take the bus from Animal Kingdom
to just next door.
How long did we wait for that bus?
Yeah,
Carrie?
We waited a while for the bus, and it didn't make any sense considering like the people. Like, you'd think that the Animal Kingdom Lodge people should have like some sort of a priority, or like a tram or something. Like, can't they have something? Like, we had to walk to the very last bus stop, pretty much, to get the bus, and then we had to wait. Which you think that they'd have like some sort of an express. Something exactly. Like throw people on a tram or something. I don't know.
I know.
Why make us take a regular bus like just right next door?
I know. Like, it didn't make any
weird.
Sense. So once we finally got on the bus, we saw their Christmas display was lovely. We saw their big beautiful. Gingerbread giraffe.
Yeah. We went to eat in the Mara. Is that what it's called? The Mara. Yeah. And we weren't too impressed with what we could order. But I think when we kind of put two and two together, like we mobile ordered, and I went, which is what we always do. Yes. And I thought that maybe if we actually went up and tried to order at the cash, like maybe they would have had some daily specials or whatever. Like, because I always remembered them having like stuff from something every day that was from Boma, or like more inspired from the menu upstairs. And it seemed like there was just like flatbreads and salads and stuff.
Right.
So I was I wasn't disappointed in what we ate. I think I had the falafel platter or whatever. It was good. I had
chicken fingers, yeah.
It was tasty or whatever, but I think our intention was to also get something a little bit different. And then when we got there,
we didn't.
So. Yeah. But seeing the tree was lovely, and seeing that resort is beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful resort. So there's another resort exploring that we did. So
we did. And then the next day was our day where we met our friend Carol.
Yeah.
So we went back to Epcot.
We did.
So we have friends, Carol and Gary, who they're in Florida now for the winter, and they were staying maybe, she said, about an hour away. Mm-hmm. So she drove up to Epcot to meet with us, and so that we could just catch up and hang out. And it was a fantastic day.
It was awesome.
We had so much fun. So we met. So we did a lot of wandering. Mm-hmm. We ate some good treats. So we went and had the Christmas treats. There was the red velvet bunt cake. Bunt cake. And there was a salted caramel cookie. Both were delicious.
Yeah. And we were in that, and Santa was in that space. So we sat there and had our treats and watched the Santa interactions. Like, he was awesome.
He was so awesome. And then, we kind of wandered around a little. We had lunch at Connections Cafe.
Why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We really like it.
Ain't broke.
we really like it there. And we were looking at pins, like Carol, and it was nice to just catch up and Yeah, it was fun. And that's what the day I got Becky's popcorn bucket at Epcot as well.
Well, and I think, too, like, the one thing with being at Epcot right now with everything all under construction, it's like, sure, we could have went somewhere else, but when you're in one spot, like, if we're walking around and we end up sort of by connections, like, do we really want to walk over to the land pavilion?
Exactly.
Do we know how to get over to the land pavilion?
It's a long way around.
Right? Like, it's just sort of, it was just easier, central and easy. So.
Well, and you're guaranteed to get a seat. The food is delicious. Like, it's.
Yeah, I think we stopped and we had in the around the America Pavilion, I had a shaved ice. And we had a beverage. And we just kind of moseyed and sat and moseyed and looked at things. And
yep.
It was good.
Our trip reports are so exciting.
We didn't go on any attractions that day either, right?
No, we didn't do any. No. Wait, when did we do the land? No.
No, we didn't do that.
We didn't. I did that after you left. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that day, though, we couldn't do much because we had to go back to the hotel and get changed. Yeah. Because we had another fancy dancy dinner that Miss Carrie booked. So her signature dining or bust.
That's right.
Yep. So we went back. We got changed for our fancy dinner. Then we went over to the Grand Floridian first. And we took pictures. We took pictures of the gingerbread, and we got a bunch of PhotoPass pictures. Mm-hmm. And did you know? So actually, we spent a lot of time at the Grand Floridian with the PhotoPass guy. Remember, he took all those pictures of us. A couple weeks later, he was featured as one of the PhotoPass photographers on the Disney Parks blog. Yeah. He's been there forever. So anyway, he took a bunch of pictures of us. We did that. That was fun. And then we got on the monorail and we went to the Contemporary for dinner at the California Grill.
Never
Carrie's
been there before.
First time at the California Grill. Well,
it was awesome.
It was awesome. That's it? Just awesome?
Yeah, I think, I think...
Was it what you expected?
Well, I think it's hard to, because, like, they don't have the regular menu right now. They only have, like, the pay one price fixed, menu for the 50th. Which I think is probably way cheaper than actually having dinner there, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, really, it probably is. So, yeah, I thought, I think I would like to experience it that way as well. But it just seemed to be perfect, like, the right timing. Our reservation was for, like, maybe 7:15 or something like that-ish. And, timed it right perfectly for the fireworks, so we got to have our appetizers, and then they ask if you're going to go outside and watch the fireworks, and if you are, then they make sure that they don't bring your entree until afterwards or whatever. So it was like the perfect timing, and it was a beautiful night. It wasn't cold. It was, we got to go out and watch the fireworks. The lady told us where to go to get the best view. It was cool, like big bang for your buck. Like, I was investigating, like, bringing my family to the fireworks dessert party at Magic Kingdom, the seats and treats, and all you get is some treats and the seat.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot more than that.
So you're gonna try and take them to the California Grill?
Well, I've been trying to find a reservation, but I haven't had very much luck for, like, the right timing and whatever. But still looking. But yeah, it's a really good experience. Like, again, and maybe not so great if the weather's not the nicest, outside, or depending on who you're traveling with. But yeah, very good experience. I was impressed.
Yeah, even just being up there and having the views with or without the fireworks, it's
I think with the fireworks,
it's
the best.
Oh, of course, but it's a pretty special spot, and seeing the open kitchen, and you can see them making the food, and
like, imagine being there, like, spot. Being over, like, on the Magic Kingdom side of the restaurant, being, like, sitting beside the window or whatever, and just having your meal with that view. Yeah, regardless of the fireworks or not. But if you're there for a meal that day, you can go back up to watch the fireworks. I don't know if it's for lunch or if it's only for if it's for dinner or if it's not for other meals. But if you went for dinner at, like, 6:00, you can come back and watch the fireworks, right?
Right. Yeah. So we did that. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
And we shopped at the Contemporary. We looked around the stores. Of course, because,
those are my favorite stores in there.
Stuff. But then by the time we were pretty much pooped by the time. We had walked all day at Epcot.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were full up from our food.
We were done.
You had some interesting food at dinner that you regularly wouldn't eat.
I did. What did I eat?
You had like a tuna roll or something.
Yeah. So it was the appetizer, because you had a choice of different appetizers. So I ended up having the sushi. It was pretty good.
And I didn't say anything.
The rolls, like it was whatever. It was,
but it did have raw tuna in it.
It did, yeah. But whatever.
And you ate it.
It was. I did. It was okay. I mean, it's not something that I think, if it wasn't part of like the whole if you didn't automatically get it, I would not order it. But it was good. It was good. Yep. That was our day. The next day was your last day.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We went to Hollywood Studios, right?
That was the day we decided we were going to try and do some attractions.
So we bought Genie Plus. But as experts as we are, we didn't think to buy Genie Plus at 7:00 in the morning.
No, we were not paying attention.
I think we bought it around like 11:30 or something like that, because we were like, man, let's see what we can do. And we didn't do too bad of a job, because I got on that Genie Plus and I was stacking.
Yeah.
I was stacking lightning lanes for later in the day. So we didn't get to the park. We didn't get to the parks till later. Why?
Yeah.
What, did we do something in the morning, or we were just chilling? We were just chilling.
We were working, and because that's the thing. When Carrie and I go on vacation, like, we still have work to do. So so we have to carve out a couple hours here and there to do work, and so I think we did some work that morning before we left.
So I think we had lightning lanes all booked for like 4:00 onwards, which was not too bad. You gotta just keep at it and keep checking, and some of the. I couldn't get Slinky Dog Dash, but I did get some of the other ones. Like, we got Mickey's and Minnie's, we got
Toy Story
Mania, we got Rise of the Millennium Falcon. But just checking in, refreshing the app.
Yeah.
We did not too bad. Like,
our
we were willing to pay $15 for just one ride, because we're like, we got to do something. But if you keep at it and you don't mind checking.
Yeah, it works pretty well. And our Toy Story, Carrie, this is best friends. Our score was like within 100 of each other. It was insanely close.
That was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And when the ride was down, so when we got there,
our lightning lane was not exactly lightning.
The lightning lane was pretty long, but it didn't take too long to get through. Did we do anything? Did we do other attractions?
No, that was it.
We didn't do any other
Mickey
ones?
Minnie's, but what we did was we waited to see the Tower of Terror. So show on the Tower of Terror, and we had that fantastic bowl. So they had that bowl where it was like a waffle cone, and it had mashed potatoes and spicy chicken nuggets inside. It was so good. So we ate that, and then we watched the show on the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, that show was nice.
Yeah. So
I've seen it in passing, I think, but I don't think I've ever sat and waited to watch it all. Because we kind of saw it happening when we were eating, and then we waited till it to start all up again, and we went on the street and we waited. It was really nice. Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of our day, and then the next day, Carrie went home.
Womp, 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 womp.
But you did Sunshine Flyer back. Mm-hmm. And they were early.
Yeah, they came pretty much at the very start of the window, if not a little bit earlier. And I think because I was there and there was nobody else, they just threw me on the bus and we left. There was 6 people on that bus going back to the airport. That's the thing I was a little worried about. I'm like, how come there's only 6 people on the bus? Hopefully it was just a weird time, or maybe, we do they do pick up the Canadians 4 hours early.
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
I was at the airport so early that we flew WestJet, right?
Yeah. And there was nobody open.
Yeah, I had to sit for a little bit. I was the first one online waiting to check my bag. So, and then I walked around the mall, and did I, I'm trying to think of if I got anything to eat. I must have got something to eat.
You must have. I
went to Dunkin' Donuts. It's always my big dilemma. Do I go get a big breakfast from McDonald's? Because I love American McDonald's have the big breakfast.
Oh my goodness. Or do you get Dunkin' Donuts?
Or do I get Dunkin' Donuts? And I always, like, I went for Dunkin' Donuts, and then their donuts, like, they're not like Tim Hortons donuts.
Well, what do you mean they're not like Tim Hortons donuts?
I'm always disappointed.
So then why do you continue to get them?
I know, I need to tell myself to smarten up. Their coffee's good. Their breakfast thing was good, but nothing, like, so when you go to McDonald's, like, if you get a big breakfast here, I don't even know if they have them, but if you get a big breakfast here, I don't know.
I don't think we have big breakfasts at McDonald's.
I think we used to. Remember, it used to come with the styrofoam thing?
A big, place setting. Yeah.
You can get pancakes, I think, here, or you can get, like, it comes with eggs, sausage, and egg muffin. But when you're in the U.S., you can get a big breakfast. So a big breakfast has hot cakes, sausage, and it has the eggs, and it has the muffin, and it might even have something else too. But it's a big breakfast, and I love getting a big breakfast.
So, did you get but you didn't.
No, I did. I went Dunkin's. Last time I did the big breakfast. This time I did Dunkin's.
I never eat before I go through.
Well, it was early, and probably
there's nothing on the other side to eat anyway, really.
Mm-hmm. Unless you go into the lounge, like, I always debate about going into the lounge, but I don't know. Depends on the timing. You gotta.
So it looks like Sunshine Flyer did well for you picking up. I met a family that was there waiting for their pickup when you got on your bus.
Oh, right.
And they had booked, I don't even know the company name. It wasn't one of the big ones. But they had booked it, and their driver just never came. So they were telling me the horror story that on the way there, it was an hour late picking them up from the airport. It was a private. And the guy stopped for gas on the way to the resort. And then on the way back, he was an hour late when I left them still sitting there at the bus stop. So, yeah, not cool.
Like,
so you gotta be careful, like, who you're booking through. You know, I've heard some horror stories about Sunshine Flyer too, but I really think those were at the very beginning when it first opened and they were working out the kinks and stuff. I think so far, more recently, the reviews have been good.
Yeah. And Mears is the other option, and, like, they've been around forever. Sunshine Flyer, like, the company that owns them has been, like, a transport company, like, for decades, like, years and years and years and years. So it's not like they're just somebody that decided they were going to get into the business because the people needed to get to Disney in the airport, right? But yeah. Like, it kind of sucks that for us, they pick us up so early, but it's like, if it's zero hassle, right? Like,
exactly. Yep.
You just
no car seats required, that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a good option. You know, and based on your comfort level, not everybody's comfortable taking an Uber or a Lyft. Yeah. I mean, you have to remember, these aren't big companies. This is just some random dude that's coming to pick you up in his car. So not everybody's comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think, for sure. And that's it's not that it's a long haul, but, like, it's one thing to boot around, you know, the Disney property, but you know, going to and from the airport on the freeways or whatever, like you said, you're in somebody's car.
Although I did take a Lyft back to the airport. I did not take
I've done a taxi. I've done...
Yeah. I've tried most of them, so... For me, I prefer the Lyft back because then it's just me. I don't have to stop anywhere, and I'm usually going at a crazy time in the morning anyway. So, yeah. And then Carrie left me.
Yeah, and you had a whole other week or more there without me.
I did. I'm sorry.
I was back at work.
You were.
Back to the grind.
I know.
Just counting down the days to puzzle time. Just trying to get through one day at a time. Till my work closed and I could finally puzzle in peace.
I was all over the place. I went from there to Pop Century, because, you know, I love Pop Century. Stayed there for a few days, and then I went over to Grand Destino Tower and stayed there. So I did do a couple of attractions without you. The land.
That's it? I think you need to tell the story. You did Rise of the Resistance?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what, Fran's like, well, whatever, I can do it next week when she's gone.
I didn't.
As long as you didn't go, did you go on the Muppets 3D?
I did not.
Thank heavens.
I did not. I went over and used the washroom over there, but I didn't. I didn't go in.
Gonzo's Royal Flush.
I love that one. I just love the name of that. I think it's hysterical.
I think you need to tell the story if you're not going to really go into too much detail about your trip report for the extra time there. I think you need to tell your story about Angela getting you that special reservation.
Oh, good God. So I ended up, oh my gosh. So I ended up staying because our agency was invited by Disney to do a couple of days, which is how I ended up on Rise of the Resistance, because that was one of the things.
You were on an agent education program.
Yes. So they invited us in, and we got to go to Hollywood Studios before it opened.
That's pretty cool.
In the morning. So we were in Hollywood Studios.
What time do you have to get up at?
You have to meet the bus. I think we met the bus at 5:15 or 5:45 in the morning. Like, oh my gosh. But it was so worth it.
It's a spectacular experience.
It's a spectacular experience. You get a private breakfast in Docking Bay 7. You get to take all the pictures you want. And then when the park opens, they basically walk you on to Rise of the Resistance. So that was like, oh my gosh. So after you left, it was probably 4 days. So then once I got that invite, there was no point in me flying home and then flying back for that. So I just stayed. So about 4 days after you left, Angela arrived. And, so we had a couple of days. The training started, and she really only had a couple days. So we decided we were going to do dinner and one night, and she was in charge of reservations. So she says to me, Franny, I got us an amazing reservation. I'm like, okay. And she's like, have you ever dined at Akershires or Akershire? I don't know how to say it. I'm like, no, I'm dined at, I've never done it. I want to try the princesses. She's like, great. I got us a candlelight processional package. I'm like, what? She's like, I got us a candlelight procession. I'm like, seriously, Angela, come on, no. And she's like, yeah, come on, let's do it, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that night, we went to dinner. Dinner was fantastic, by the way. Princesses galore. We had a great time, great photo ops. Food was good. After dinner, we went out. It was packed. Epcot was so busy. So I just said to her, I'll see you later. So I'm like, Angela, don't be mad at me, but I'm not staying for this. Because you get the tickets with your dinner anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever. It's not like we paid $100 for the candlelight processional and I didn't go. It was included. So I was just like, oh, forget it. I don't want to see it. I'm going to jump on the bus. I'm going to go back to the resort. She's like, okay, fine, whatever. But in the end, she was so tired too, because we knew we had to get up so early the next morning for the Hollywood Studios thing.
For sure.
She ended up finding a couple that were in the standby line and gave them our tickets.
Aww.
She said the girl burst into tears. And then she just kind of stood over to the side and watched a little bit of it and then left. So, yeah. So I managed to get out of the candlelight processional.
Yet again.
Again, yes. So, yeah, then we did the training, and then she left. And then it was that was Thursday morning. So then I'm like, well, it's not like I'm going to go to work on Friday, so I may as well stay till Saturday. So that's what I did. So I just stayed till the Saturday, and then I came home. Yeah. So it was good. It was
a trip
very
that
good.
Turned into a nice long one.
It did. It was a very long one, and I love the Grand Destino Tower. It's probably it's easily becoming one of my favorites. Even though there's no, Skyliner or anything like that. It's I like taking lifts around. I refuse to take a minivan because I think they're gouging people. I think the prices are horrific. And I only see it because when you go in the Lyft app, you see it offers you a minivan. And there were days where my Lyft was coming up at $8.99. And if you did the wait and save, it was $6.99. And the minivan was $30. So, yeah, I did not do any minivans. I love the minivans, but I refuse. That's just crazy to me. And then I get to meet all these nice people in the lifts. So, that was fun.
I felt this trip the Lyft prices seem to be I'm trying to think of when we went before in the past, but they seem to be lower. like, I'm pretty sure when we went to the even going off-site to the outlet, like, I think the one way, because we take turns, right?
Yeah.
And I think I paid to go there, and I'm pretty sure it was like under $9 before I did the tip.
Yeah.
I thought, how is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that possible? It seemed like they seem to be lower this, like, I know it's all by the season and by how busy and the time of day and all that stuff, but they seem to all be, like, they seem to be lower than what I remember from the past trips.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Which
I
is
think
cool. But.
Yeah. I mean, when we think about it, we used to rent cars every time we went. We would always rent a car. This is cheaper for us than renting a car.
Big time.
I mean, well, now the car prices are crazy, but even compared to what we used to pay for a car back then, it's still, like, it's probably comparable. So, yeah, we take the lifts a lot. And then I scheduled my lift to go back because it had to pick me up at like 3:00 in the morning. And I was so worried. I'm like, who's going to be on the road at that time? But my scheduled driver ended up canceling, and I got another driver, and it was on time. So, yeah. And he was lovely. He was full of dad jokes all the way to the airport. He had me in stitches. He was so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, Carrie, we did a good trip report or no?
I don't know.
Everybody's like, did you guys even do anything? Like, what did you do? Yeah. Lots and lots of wandering, eating, laughing. And that's it. Thoughts?
Did we see? We didn't see Fantasmic. We didn't see... we just saw the castle. We saw the Tree of Life in the Tower of Terror. So we did okay there.
We did. I saw Fantasmic with Angela after you left, sorry. Because we weren't going to wait in. The lines were insane for Fantasmic. And then one night I was talking to one of the girls, one of the cast members on the street, and she said to me, she's like, I don't know why everybody's lining up. There's plenty of seats. Yeah. And I said, so can I show up like 10 minutes before the show and watch? She's like, yeah, probably. So honestly, the night Angela and I went, we just walked up. It was like maybe 20 minutes to showtime. And I mean, we were around the corner, but we had decent seats, and yeah, we got to see it. So, and it was good. I felt like there were less performers, I guess, than before. Like the updates, you know, how they had like those big fight scenes and stuff on the mountains. There were a little less of those. But you know, Fantasmic's always good. Unless you're like really little and loud noises bother you, then don't go.
Then it's scary.
Then it's very scary. Don't go.
It's very, very scary.
Oh, Carrie, our trip report done. Anybody listening still?
Hello, anybody there? Is this thing on? Hello, hello.
Okay, Carrie, we bored them all to tears enough.
You know what we need to tell people?
Oh, now she's thought of something else. Yes?
No. But how many times when you were there that you had somebody reach out to you to say, oh, I just saw you and I didn't stop to, and that's what we need to remind people. Yeah,
that was, I can't, people were messaging going, oh, I just saw you, blah, 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 or I saw you earlier here. And I was like, why didn't you say something? How come you didn't come and say hello?
As you can see by our trip report, we have ample time. We have ample time to chit-chat if anybody wants to stop and talk to us.
We do. Like, please, if you see Carrie and I in the parks, like, come and say hello. We honestly, we don't bite. And we just, we'd be happy to say hello.
Yeah.
For sure. So if you see us, make sure you do. Don't send me a message later and say, oh, I saw you, but I was too embarrassed or nervous. And we got all of, and I was like, just come say hi. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Because we're probably just sitting around doing something stupid. So we've got time.
Eating some caramel couche. Pining away for some popcorn.
Pretty much. Yeah, I didn't realize how much you love popcorn.
Yeah, I like popcorn. Who doesn't like popcorn?
Well, I don't think I recognize that how much you like popcorn.
It's a pretty good snack. I didn't have one pretzel when I was there. Which is usually my go-to. That's the thing. As much as we wander around and do nothing, like, we don't have time to do everything that we want to do. Is how silly is that?
But we did do a bunch of stuff that was new to us. And that was kind of our goal of the trip, was to do things that we don't normally do. And, that's the one thing I'll tell you. one day after you left, I can't remember where I was or why I was going, where I was going, but I took the Skyliner from Hollywood Studios over to Riviera because someone told me the food there was good for the quick service. So I get there, I'm standing there, I'm looking at the thing, I'm like, I don't know what to eat. So I said to the girl, what's your favorite? And she said the vegetable wrap. Now, you know me. Seriously, a vegetable wrap? I'm like, but now I can't offend the woman and say, oh, I don't want to. So I'm like, fine, I'll have the vegetable wrap. Oh my gosh, Carrie, I'm like dreaming of this wrap. It was so good. It was so yummy. I wanted to go back for it again. And I need to look at the menu again because I was looking for what kind of seasoning and stuff was on it because I would even make this at home.
Interesting. It was
like a wrap with roasted kind of vegetables in it, like, I don't know. And it had like this white, it was almost like, you know, like you have tzatziki on your chicken and stuff. It was almost like a tzatziki, I don't know. I'm probably butchering this and people are going to listen to it and be like,
it might have
so
been tahini
it
sauce. Sometimes they put tahini sauce on.
Yeah, but even the seasonings, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. I ate every last bit of it and I debated going back again.
Wow.
It was good. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Something different.
Yeah, we did do lots of different things.
We did. Okay. Carrie.
Yeah.
It's that time of the podcast.
It's time I thought of another pixie dust.
What's your pixie dust of the week? What made you happy this week?
My Kermit shoes.
You... Wait, so you're bringing forward pixie dust from the trip?
No. My Kermit shoes that I bought at Winners, or wherever the heck I was.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Vans you bought in
those have Mickey Mouse on them.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Go on, Kermit.
Over the holidays, I was shopping or doing a little bit of retail therapy, as I like to call it. For myself, because I don't really buy gifts for anybody. And at our Marshalls, which is like HomeSense, Winners, whatever those stores are called. I don't know if there's Marshalls. Yeah, I think there's Marshalls in the U.S. Anyways, our friend Ashley had sent me a picture months ago about these Adidas Kermit shoes. So they cost a lot of money, like $100 plus, $120 or more dollars for these Kermit shoes. And I knew all about them, but I wasn't going to spend that much money on them. And so she sent me a picture a couple months ago and she saw them because we live in the same city. She sent me a picture and she said, like, look at these. And they were not big enough. They were big, like big, humongous shoes. And I said, what size? And then I said, how much? Because I thought, well, if they were like cheap, like free almost, like I'm going to put them on display in my office as Kermit shoes. And they were still $80. And I was like, forget that. No thanks.
Harry.
No thanks. No, like $80. Like they didn't fit me, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to buy them. But if they would have been like probably $40 or less, I probably would have bought them and put them on display.
As a decoration.
Because how often are you going to get shoes with Kermit on them?
Exactly.
Right? Anyway, so I was over at the HomeSense and I walked in and I usually just do the things that I always do in there. I go look at the home stuff. I look at the craft supplies. I don't ever look at any of the, I don't look at anything else other than that. I just look at the few things. But I walked in and I saw beside me was the shoe thing. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take a look. And no joke, I got to the shoe section. It was like the kids section. And I saw the Kermit shoes. And the minute I saw them, I'm like, those are going to fit me. Like, those fit me. Like, I could have probably just grabbed the box. And I have very wide feet. Most shoes don't fit me. But I looked at these suckers and I was like, oh, those are going to fit me. So I tried them on. They fit me like a glove. I think they're like a boy size 5 or something like that. And they were only $40.
Oh, all Carrie.
Of the other Kermit shoes.
No tax because they're kids.
All of the other Kermit shoes were $80 still because they had them. But I think somebody bought them and returned them.
Nice.
And when they returned them, they marked them down to $40. So that was a pretty big start the car moment. And they fit. And I've never had Adidas before because my feet are wide and I always thought they were thin. Like I've tried to put them on before, but I don't know, maybe because they're more of like a skater shoe, like a flat shoe, like a Vans. Like maybe they are wider and I just never, maybe I've only ever tried on like Adidas, like runners before. Like I'd never tried on
Right.
like the regular, you know, the Adidas, the regular style of Adidas, but they seem to fit okay. So I've been wearing them. I went to the mall the other day and I put them on so that I can get some kilometers on them. So maybe I'll have them, can wear them when I go to Disney. So they're pretty cool. They got Kermits all over them.
Oh, that's awesome, Carrie.
That's awesome, Pixie Dust.
Yay!
So, yeah. How about you?
That's good.
Got any cool Kermit shoes lately, or
no cool Kermit shoes?
Found a new
I did mention
chiropractor.
I mentioned last week my new chiropractor, so I'm doing different things to try and fix my own back. And I bought a riser, monitor riser on Amazon. Don't even laugh. Whatever. I'm trying to ergonomic my desk or whatever you call it. So my Mac, I always was looking down. So Carrie, now that we're on video, so now you'll notice that I'm
that's true.
Right? It's a different height. So I bought a riser to rise up. Now it's probably a little too tall, but it's better because I can feel my posture is different sitting because I have to sit up straight to see the monitor. So, so far so good. Whatever.
One more step toward your ergonomic workspace. You really should have an ergonomic workspace considering you don't want to go to your other work in person.
So Carrie, this is the ergonomic for my personal Mac that I do my Pixie Dust and my travel agent, blah, blah, blah stuff on. My work, my unmagical job, it's on a corner. It's whatever. I can't even be bothered. I don't even care what that's like. That's just on the corner of my desk. It's this one that I need to, because this is where I spend my time. This is what makes me happy.
My home desk is horrible. If I actually had to sit and do data entry or do some sort of repetitive thing on my computer for a long time, which I guess isn't and you might think that's silly, but there is a big difference between sitting and focusing on something repetitively and just sitting at your desk, sitting at your desk, whatever, right? It wouldn't be very good. My work at work is I love being at work because of that. My very expensive chair, fancy. I call it the Cadillac. We have Cadillac chairs there, and everything's low and where it needs to be, and my trays and my mouse pad, everything is just perfect. Aww. So once I started going back to work, being there for ergonomic purposes is awesome because I have not made my work at home, and you don't really notice it till you go back to work and you're like, oh, this is nice. But
I need a new chair. That I need. And I keep looking at the gaming chairs online because I figure those are the ones that are meant for people sitting at their desk all the time, right?
Well, I think you need to make sure that they just move about a lot. It needs to have enough features to to be able to move it about so that because it's really how your shoulders and everything sits and your elbows and all that stuff and how deep the seat is and all that. So I think you just need one that moves about a lot.
Doing all these things to try and make life a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. I can help you I do a pretty decent ergonomic assessment after being in my job for so many years.
Yeah, you can help me with that.
I'll give you a little
sounds good to me. Help me decide what chair to buy. Yes.
Anyways.
All right. Well, that's our Pixie Dust.
Yep.
Well, thank you. If you guys are still here listening to us, let us know if there's any of the things that we did on our trip report that you do on your trip report or yours totally different. I kind of want to hear what people would like us to maybe try next time we're on vacation, Carrie.
That'd be funny if we had it where we did it where we had the Pixie Dust fans plan our day. Told us what to do.
Do you think we could handle that?
One day.
Just one day. All right. Well, thank you for listening. And if you get a chance, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out, helps other people discover our podcast. And if you enjoyed it, please share it with your family, your friends, share it online, interact with us. And if you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody you listened.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.